up to speed, up to speed, up to speed.
Live from the apocalypse. You know it's real life because it's not nearly as fun. This is State of the Game. Thank you for being here. Uh, I am Dan. Dano. I am somebody who no one in the world can make me feel like my weirdness is a bad thing anymore.
It's good.
That shit, I don't know when that shit snapped in. Probably sometime in high school. After that was over.
Mm.
And I was like, yep,
That's a
nope,
superpower.
I'm good. So that's where I'm at. And my co-host, if you don't think he's lived an exciting life, he dunked on Benjamin Netanyahu, put him on a fucking poster.
I, I did not, but thank you though.
He said, "Take that, bitch." Um, yeah. Thank you for being here, Kay.
hmm
We are here, uh, joined on episode it's 288. I believe it's 288.
Wow.
Um, And I'm not doing anything cool for the 300th episode. Tired of throwing these big fucking celebrations. Maybe 500 or some shit. We'll do something fun.
Yeah.
But this is the Roc Marciano episode.
Mm.
We're going to have a chance to really go into this because the narratives around Roc Marciano are always interesting to me.
Okay.
Always interesting. Um, some that he generates, some that other people generate about him. Some are debates between people in the know, right? Uh,
Mhm.
it's just a lot to talk about, man.
Yeah.
A lot to talk about. And he released a new album called 656.
hmm
Do you know what 656 means?
I just assumed it was like maybe an area code or something.
Oh, like the old No Limit,
Um, I
702
never,
No
I
Limit or
never, I never even thought of it. What is 656?
whatever. So, um, 656 is the apartment number
Okay.
that he lived in when he lived in Hempstead.
Okay. How long ago was this? Was this like in the 2000, early 2000s, 90s?
Yeah, I would assume. I mean,
Okay.
2000s, he was in like flip mode squad. So I'd assume this is way,
Oh, okay. Before that. All right.
yeah. When did the UN album come out? Like, and that's why, if have you seen the cover of this thing?
Yeah, it's the floppy disk.
Old
Right.
floppy disk. So
Yeah.
this is about returning to an origin, right? Like
Hmm.
somewhere on its surface, you know?
Okay.
Finding your base point, you know? Uh, yeah. Oh, by the way, I just looked it up. The UN album that the group he was in, uh, you in or you out, uh, that came out in '04.
Oh wow. Okay.
So we're talking about, I'm assuming 656 was a long time ago in terms of where he was living. But um, it's fascinating to me, and for me, it is the best album so far of the year. Uh,
Okay.
it is such a high level. Does a lot of great stuff.
Yes, I would agree. I mean, it's still, mind you, it's still like mid-February, but
Right, right, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying where we are. I'm
yeah,
living in the now. You
yes. And then now, yeah. I mean, it's definitely the most unique project
Right,
uh,
right,
that's come out this year. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to think where we should start here with. because it's a lot of history here. There's a
Okay.
lot going on right now. Um, Rock breaks into the public consciousness with Mark Burke.
Hmm.
I believe that's 2012.
Okay.
Critically acclaimed, kind of, completely independent, produced by himself, you know?
Hmm.
Um, and instantaneously, it feels like, oh, it's 2011, apparently. February 2011 title says the date. That's the release. I don't know. So it feels like somebody doing a move you didn't think was possible, right?
In what way?
You know when a basketball player goes up and like switches possession of the ball in midair a bunch of times,
Hmm.
and everyone's like, "How do you do that?" Like it kind of felt like that.
Oh, okay. Is as in something we've never seen before?
I don't know about
Or
never seen before. I try and stay away from that kind of thing.
right. Or we
Um,
hadn't right.
but something that wasn't happening in any shape or form,
Okay. Okay.
right? Like just really out there, really, really wild.
Hmm. So 2000, so this 2011. I'm trying to think like what was the big sound at that moment, at that time? What is it? I mean, is that like the Rick Ross Drake era, like the big?
So you think about no, well,
Yeah.
let's
Okay.
think about where New York was before that. Okay.
Hmm.
The the actual do you remember the Bring New York Back era?
Like, I mean, I'm thinking, I mean, 50 Cent was, what was he, like 2003, maybe 2002, 2003. And then there was like the Dipset era that kind of was after him.
Yep,
And then
yep.
after that, there was just kind of like a lull, as far as I can remember. Yeah.
Yeah, so the lull post G Unit, post Dipset, there's this kind of gross uh personalityless sound that comes out of New York, right? Um who was the fucking the guy I always associate with it, and this may not be fair.
Yeah.
Um Ether Boy Ron Browse.
Okay. I've heard of Ron Browse.
He had these really gross kind of um heavily auto-tuned, like it was, the problem with the 50 Cent with the G Unit kind of era is they were going after banger and none of it had any soul to it. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Right.
was so it was and near the end, right? Obviously but yeah, so and post G Unit post Dipset, it's rudderless, and everybody starts trying to bring New York back mixtapes, right? True York, by True Life, 2007, right? Beefing with the Dipset, um, and the radio's completely being dominated by Southern artists,
Yeah.
right? Isn't Ti kind of dominating at that juncture?
Yeah. I mean, T.I.
Right.
is probably the biggest. I mean, he had King at that moment. Like, he had probably commercial wise, he was probably the top rapper at the time. Like Wayne was recognized
Yeah.
as the best,
Yeah,
but
2006 is
yeah,
King.
Yep.
right? Uh, 2008 Paper Trail, right?
Yeah.
He's yeah. So like that whole thing, Gucci Mane is going crazy.
Yep.
Ross, right? Ross is killing it.
Yep.
It-
Ace Hood, I remember.
right. So there's this like the South is just going crazy.
Hmm.
New York is trying to figure it out.
Hmm.
And 2011, this album Markberg drops, and it has none of the artificial um, post G Unit flavor to it. It has none of the desperation. It has none of the like, oh, I'm gonna kind of make a southern type of beat, but I'm gonna be New York over it. It has none
Right.
of you know. Um, it's because that was also Juicy J comes back into the consciousness, right? Like the 3 6 Mafia sound starts taking over. It's not. He comes out of nowhere with a sound that is his own
Right.
and a way of rapping that is his own. It's dense. The production is very haunted,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, "What? You could do it this way? This
Hmm.
was an option?" You know? So that it kind of hits.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at, so 2011, the top albums at that time were guys like so Wayne was number one,
Right.
Drake, Take Care, Kanye and Jay-Z, Jeezy, J. Cole, Lupe, and Wiz Khalifa.
Yup.
That's kind of like the vibe or the flavor for that year
Right.
when he
Yeah.
released.
When you're used to Wiz Khalifa dominating the radio, all of a sudden you hear Roc Marciano, you're you're not ready for it. You know what I mean? But by the time 2012, the next year comes out, Reloaded, right? We're starting to really get a handle on this guy's style. And I remember my friend who co-founded the site with me. We were talking about rock in depth, and we were like, "Can he sustain this though?"
Sustain what?
We were used to artists with these kind of tricky deliveries and crazy things. We were used to them flaming out. Like, how long can you do this for?
Mm.
We were used to it flaming out. They're like, in terms of sustainability.
What did you feel at the time made it unsustainable?
So, contrast, right? Lupe Fiasco.
Mhm.
Which album was that in 2011 that we were saying?
Lasers.
Lasers. Okay. When Lupe drops, we're like, this is an all tool player, right?
Yeah.
The hooks are crazy, great melody, can sing, raps his ass off, storyteller, right? Imagery, can make pop songs, can make concept songs. This just felt like, this guy to the moon, right? Like this is I've already told you. I was like, I can just replace Kanye with this. This is awesome,
Mhm.
because I was never comfortable on the Kanye train.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, but it's when you hear rock, he's not. He's the drums not being there
Mm.
gives more space for different crazy flows, right? And different word stacking, and but he's not telling stories really,
Mhm.
and he doesn't have big delicious hooks,
No.
right? And the beats aren't necessarily knocking, right? The style clears the way for him and the voice and the delivery and what he's doing. right?
Right.
This puts a lot of pressure on him, right? Like, oof, are you sure? You can sustain this? Because
I see what you have.
storytelling MCs can keep telling their story.
Right.
Hookers can hook,
Right.
right? Um, and people who have that mix of skills can keep switching it up, you know?
Mhm.
Um, but if you're just doing what Rock does, man, we were like, this seems like it could burn it out. This guy feels like he's doing a crossword puzzle.
Right. I mean, those other categories that you mentioned, they have things to fall back on, you know. But when you're like, I understand what you're saying by burned out. When you're rock, really, it's all contingent. You don't really have crutches per se, because your flow and your lyrics are the focal point of the song. So if you run out of interesting things to say, you're not going to be able to hold people's attention. Is that kind of what you're?
It yes, there's
Yeah.
a singularity to the style, right? Now, it goes both ways, right? The singularity means it's incredibly unique, right? And it his fans are diehard fans. But do me a favor. Look up his monthly listeners on Spotify.
I don't even use Spotify. What is it?
You can just Google
Okay,
Rock
Google.
Marciano monthly listeners.
Roc Marciano.
I'm illustrating a point, but I'm not
Or I'm seeing 485,000.
485,000, which is great. Now, Google West Side Gun monthly listeners. It's different. It's a different number.
Over, is this right? 4.8 million?
4.8 million. So, like,
Wow.
and West Side Gun isn't Kendrick, right? He's not printing his own money, right? He's still an odd duck and an acquired taste, right? But he's found a way to open himself up to like wider audiences and bring lots of other people in and tons of guests on his projects, right? Um, events. He's a good event creator, a ringmaster, right? I think West Side Gun is a great comparison to someone like Master P. You know,
Like
that's
you, the ringleader. Right.
yeah, ringmaster.
Yeah.
So all over 656, Rock is dealing with the fact that he's not in that space. That while he is loved, adored, respected, and is a genuinely important part of history, he's never going to be in that conversation. He's never going to be with those guys.
In terms of audience, of how big his audience is.
Right. His ceiling is not going to be there. Right. And, um, and to be fair, like, so, and it's comparable to Woods, right? It really is. It's comparable to Woods. Um, because Woods has a different kind of delivery. You'll if you search on the internet, you can find people calling him spoken word all the time. People saying that he's not on beat. People saying, all that. Woods is different. He looks for challenging sounds. He looks to switch up flows. Because of this, Woods has accepted, look, I'm probably never going to take over the world here, right?
Well, what I mean, I think for me, Woods, uh, how do I say it? He's not as insulated as Rock Marciano is.
Roc Marciano
So,
is quite insulated. Yeah.
and I think that helps. That's going to help you. That helps an artist not only expand but be able to try different things because he's on. You know, Woods is very generous. I shouldn't say very generous, but he's generous with his talent in terms of who if he who
Sure.
he'll what projects he'll appear on.
Sure. And yeah, and he's less of a loner, right? Understood, right? He's a great collaborator. I'm talking about stylistically.
Right.
You make challenging music, you're you're not going to get as popular as people who don't.
Well, when you make challenging music, I mean, I think when you make such insulated music, it's not going to appeal to everyone. I think. Yeah.
So yes, so like it's harder for people to get a grasp on what you do,
Yes.
right? um, and that works both ways, that argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some people that really fucking hate La Russell.
The Russell is he? That's the gospel rapper, right?
I guess. I mean, he's.
I've heard of. I've
Oh,
heard his
are
name.
you
I
thinking about Lecrae? You might be thinking about
okay,
Lecrae.
Lecrae. Yeah,
You
La
think about
Russell.
Lecrae.
Yeah.
La Russell is a West Coast rapper. He, by the way, 643,000 monthly listens, right? He's huge. But he is kind of hated a lot within the underground, even though he's an independent artist doing a lot of the stuff himself,
Yeah.
because he makes very simple, straightforward, fun music. It's not bad music. It's not problematic music. It's just straightforward, man.
Right.
Straightforward. The rhymes are not going to confuse you. The beats are not going to confuse you. It's all put together well. It's all good.
Hmm.
So,
Interesting. Okay.
so that style, like if I play La Russell for someone who doesn't follow music heavily, they'll be like, okay, cool, right?
Yeah.
I can play this. If I try and play Billy Woods for someone who doesn't follow music regularly, what's going to happen?
I mean, it can be overwhelming.
And so, and the same with rock, right? It's like, whoa, this isn't how I've heard music before, right? Um, so
Hmm. Okay, I
style,
know what you're saying.
stylistically, it's tough because like the style that Marcy does puts a lot on his shoulders.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
He's out there every night like Derrick Rose back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, damn.
Yeah.
Uh, every possession, damn. Uh, so so this is all just to say when people remember Reloaded and go, oh, a classic, right? This is a classic. This is his best album. I remember the Reloaded period, and I remember going, how long could he do that for without burning himself out, without losing the creative direction, right? Like I remember wrestling with like because this is where we get to another point, right?
Okay.
Think about when we talk about success, artistic success, and we give guiding principles. What do you think those are? What would if you had to hone in? MCs. What do we enjoy that MCs do?
What do we enjoy? I mean, so what your question is regarding success? What would I consider to be success artistically?
Well, we're how or what are the characteristics of it?
I mean, I think for me, the primary thing, and it ties to your point, is a unique style or distinct style. Like I read a quote somewhere about Miles Davis, where the guys, whoever they were interviewing, was like, Miles Davis could play one note, and you immediately knew who was playing that note.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
So if you're able to have that distinct style, I mean, if you're able to create a style that distinct where you're recognizable over one note, that is successful to me.
And that is something that rock has, right? The thing I was thinking about
Okay.
was we always tell MCs to create a relationship with their audience by telling their story.
Mm.
Tell your story, do your thing, right? Like, um, and it'll connect with their story, you know?
Mm. So your success, your kind of definition of success is when an artist tells their story and it resonates with the
I think it's
audience's
one of
story.
the things it's one of the things we tell people to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, write what you know,
Right.
write
Yep.
your story, right? And it grounds you, helps ground what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it helps you know where you're going, and it creates a connection with your audience who may be feeling a similar thing, right? You write a breakup song, they might be going through a breakup,
Yeah.
and it connects to you. This is the Tupac phenomenon, right? Like Tupac was able to connect deeply with people all over the world because he was so emotional and so passionate that when he was vengeful, it felt like when you're vengeful. When he was, romantic, it felt like when you're romantic, all that stuff.
Yeah. So I would say, like, if you don't have a story, you have to be able to create a compelling story. Yes. I think storytelling, whether it's real or fictional, is very important for success. Yes.
And this is one of the interesting things about rock
Okay.
because he doesn't do that. He doesn't bring you closer to his life.
As in he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't really reveal anything personal. Yeah.
Right. I don't know
Yeah.
shit about rock.
You're
Right.
right.
Like,
Right.
and I've listened to 100 million hours of rock,
Well, we don't know his life. We don't
and
we
and
don't
I
know
don't know his
anything
life
about his
very
life.
good.
Yeah. We don't know if he has siblings. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know. You're right. That's a very fair point. Yes.
Think about Anderson Paak going through the breakup and the divorce and putting it all on record, right? And
Oh,
like, oh shit, like, and so NX worries. So like that's never Rock's never gonna do that shit.
or hasn't he hasn't done it yet? Right. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yes, I
We
agree.
don't we so there's a distance between audience and rock,
Hmm.
right? And it's it's fascinating, man. It's fascinating. Um, so we don't have the personal stories to hang on to. Yet from 2011 till now, he's been one of the most important figures in music.
Mm.
15 fucking years, right?
Yeah. Wow.
15 fucking years of really important music. that influenced, shaped people, changed how people rapped, you know?
Mhm.
Do you know how many different people I heard say, "Oh, that album, I was in my Roc Marciano bag."
I mean, we've had multiple guests who've said the same. I would say I mean, at least 20 artists that we've interviewed.
And I've
Uh,
read more, right?
yeah,
Chris
yeah.
Crack Online said one of them was I was listening to tons of Roc Marciano. This is my, Iceberg Theory said it, in a written interview once. I mean, it's so much of it, there's so much influence on artists, and on the
Mhm.
movement of art. Um, yeah, it's a big deal, dude. It's a big deal. So 15 years of sustainability while maintaining that distance, not telling linear stories, and not ever going through extreme switches in terms of production.
Mhm.
He never hit us with a rebirth, right? Like Wayne's rebirth. Like he didn't do any of that shit. So that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
That's the sculptor versus the ringmaster for sure. For sure.
I agree. I mean, I think to me, it speaks to a different type of strategy. Um, I think there's strategies where you're pushing, and then strategies I want to say pull, but maybe more attracting. I think some artists are trying to, expand their sound out.
Right.
So they're
Right.
trying to get the bigger audience. You expand your sound out. To go back to Anderson .Paak, like you said, like he told those personal stories, but at the same time, he worked with NX, No Worries,
Knowledge. Yeah.
worked with Dr. Dre,
Right.
worked with Bruno Mars. So, he's expanding sound. I think Rock is the type where, like, it's to go back to what I was saying, he's very insulated. So if he gets, if he's getting an audience, his audience is going to be attracted to him.
This leads to my metal clergy rant. Are you ready for my metal clergy rant?
Okay.
Do you know what metal clergy is?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm here. Um, so metal clergy um was a song, right? Um, actually, or maybe it was just yeah. It was what they called. I thought it was a song, but maybe it's not. It was. It's what they called ka and rock.
The genre of music?
It's what they call. They were everybody. It was a group.
Oh,
Everybody
group.
was like,
Okay.
oh, they're gonna because they're always on each other's songs,
Okay.
right? Um, and so they called the metal clergy as the partnership, right?
Okay.
And they were like, we want a metal clergy album, oh, the metal clergy album. And I was always like, I don't think you guys get it. I think you guys get it. They're waiting for, you know, metal clergy to lock in and do their Run the Jewels thing. And I was like, nope. I don't think metal clergy was ever a group the way like EPMD was. Metal clergy was a school of thought,
Hmm.
was a philosophy.
Oh, okay. It was like Q-Tip had that collective
The
like
Uma, the Uma.
yes.
Yeah.
So you mean like in that regards?
Except it's two people. And that's it. Right? Um, there's a philosophy here that they shared, right? Yes, uh, minimal spooky beats, poetic lyrics, right? But beyond that, both of them were putting this out with very minimal features. They weren't switching their sound up every time. They were both sculptors aiming for absolute perfection. It wasn't about it wasn't about finding a new lane. It was about excellence.
Yes, and what I would say to that, and I think it's kind of, and this kind of for me ties to why maybe rock hasn't like exploded per se,
Right.
like West Side Gun. He's he's more Rock and Ka are more technical technicians. They are looking for technical excellence in a way that other rappers were not.
Right. So their metrics are different for how they're successful.
Yes.
Right. They view the success metrics differently. Like they're still looking at this like your album can't fuck with my album straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's better.
Technically, technically,
Better.
technically speaking, when I'm looking at the craft, uh, and when I'm looking at how I'm putting these phrases together, you're not, and then I look at what your bars, they're not even on the same. We're not even in the same like galaxy.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Commitment to excellence. Right.
technical
Uh,
excellence. Yeah,
Technical excellence in all aspects. Um, a loner's perspective. Right. Do it myself. Have you ever run into somebody? I was thinking about this today, Don.
huh.
I'm a homeowner, right? I own a house,
Mm-hmm.
and that's great.
Yes.
But if you ever run into somebody who built their own house, that motherfucker's different, bro.
Mm-hmm. It's
He
funny
knows how
because
to
yeah,
he knows how
yeah,
to put in a fucking sink. You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
that shit is different. His relation with his house is different.
right, and his relationship with your house is different too because he's probably going in your house and be or any other homeowner's house who didn't build this stuff and be like, oh man, like,
Right.
oh, this is, oh, you were cool with that, how they put that together. Yeah,
Right, right, right.
yeah, man, that's good. Yeah.
Man, it seems like your installation ain't right. You know, he's
Yeah.
like,
It's a little cold in here.
yes. So you deal with somebody who's built their own house, they're different, man. They're built different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's the difference between metal clergy, right? Like, there's a lot of great rappers doing great stuff and doing cool stuff, but they were, getting beats from great people, punching in, you know, doing ad libs, all kinds of cool stuff, right? And Rock and Ka were slowly building their houses over and over again. And like, so it was an absolute commitment to what they were doing.
Yeah, and I think for me, because I think there are many rappers who also produce as well. But I think to me, when you say building your house, what comes to mind to me is really lyrically speaking, lyric tech technicality and in terms of lyrics, they were really honing their craft in a way that not many other artists were doing.
Right.
And it's difficult to say because it's not necessarily lyrical, like the words they're saying, but how they're technically saying the words. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah,
But well, yeah, all the little shit, right? Like
yeah,
we talked about in poetry when you're choosing the line spacing and you're choosing uh, is it a comma? Is it no commas? Is it no
yes,
punctuation? Like
yeah,
what word? When does it end? What is the last word? Right? Like all that shit is super important
Yeah.
to
I
rock.
mean, yeah. And to me, like when to go back to the house building, to me, like they're building a house, but it's like they're more they're not just trying to build a house, they're trying to make it like a greenhouse, like an efficient house. These guys are masters of efficiency.
Yep.
So, they're trying to say something, but trying to say it in like the least amount of words or using the least amount of words. And that just became like a challenge to them, you know?
And yeah, I mean and as a producer, right?
Yeah.
Other producers, people who actually produce know more than me, but
Hmm.
with producing, everybody calls rock a minimalist, right?
Hmm.
And I think that's fair, but expert minimalists are like expert counterpunchers in boxing,
Hmm. Yeah.
where you're like, man, he's getting smoked this round.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, he sees that you got too comfortable, right? You put your arm just a little low,
Hmm.
and then bang,
Yeah.
right? The shot was loaded up and he was waiting.
Right.
And that's a minimalist. Every single decision is important,
Yes.
right? So if the beat only has three or four moving parts, every one of those parts better be fucking good.
Hmm. Agreed.
If you've got a bunch of stuff overlaid in the shit or whatever, it can be so dazzling and so much that you don't even, you're like, oh my God, right? Some of the late Kanye production wasn't great.
Yeah, I mean, it was packed to the gill with sounds,
It
very
wasn't mixed
layered.
particularly well, right?
Right.
Like, as I recall, like, I don't listen to Kanye anymore, but that's what I remember of the late Kanye.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, he had a phase, like I'm thinking a little bit before graduation, he did a song for Mission Impossible. I think it was Mission Impossible 3 called Impossible. It had Twista and Keisha Cole. And they did an interview and he said, and he was talking about, yeah, we worked on this for like a whole week in 72 hours straight, just adding things. There's so many things, and there are things that people won't even be able to hear if you don't listen to it 20 times.
right.
So yeah, his style did get to a point where it's very, very like intricate with details.
And those details can be overwhelming to the
Yeah,
point where a lot of people can't pick out when something's wrong, right? If one of the things wasn't done perfectly, most people are not
right,
even hear that.
right.
There's only four elements, three elements, and one of them's not good. It's
You
fucking
can hear
fucked
it.
up.
Right, right.
So if that's the kind of expert shit that we're the expertise that we're talking about here.
Hmm.
That's metal clergy,
Mm.
you know? And so I always took metal clergy as a philosophy and a commitment to the darkness in a way, right? Um,
The darkness of life, darkness of what?
and I have a weird mental image for rock and ka, right?
Okay,
Um, it goes back to this movie called Angels with Dirty Faces.
okay.
The Jimmy Cagney movie.
I've never heard of Angels with Dirty Faces.
Yes.
Okay. What's
Yes.
it about?
I'm glad you asked. 1938
Okay.
gangster movie. Um, so James Cagney and his co-star is it William Powell or something? Um, Pat O'Brien. Sorry, Pat O'Brien.
Okay.
James Cagney and Pat O'Brien play these two grown street kids, right? They were street kids, um, and they were criminals,
Okay.
kids doing crimes, like in a poor environment.
Okay.
And the cops were after him one day, and Cagney got over the fence, and Pat O'Brien didn't.
Okay.
And the cops did him so dirty that his legs messed up forever, right? Pat O'Brien. Pat O'Brien becomes a priest in the neighborhood.
Hmm.
Cagney, because I'm spoiling this whole movie, but it's from 1938, guys. I got to be able to do what I got to do here. So Pat O'Brien becomes a priest. Jimmy Cagney becomes like the king of the street gangs,
Oh
like
my
of street operations, right?
Okay, this is sounding. Yeah, I could have sworn I've seen this is kind of like tangential, but I saw a Batman. There's like a Batman episode that's kind
Yes, yes, Batman
of
the
okay.
animated series.
Yes,
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 okay. I'm getting the
yes.
picture now.
Early and
Yes.
it's very simple. Yes. So and very much knows that it's doing.
Okay, okay.
So those two and look, the priest is always trying to talk Cagney into giving up the life, right?
Right.
Or setting a good example. But he's also like cool with him. He's not like, mad at his boy all the time. Like,
Yeah, he understands.
yeah, he's
The
still like,
understanding.
that's my guy. Like this, he's still
Yeah,
part of the neighborhood and understands it, right? Like,
but
so
hmm,
that to me is Rock and Ka, right? Um, you know, Rock leaned harder into the life, you know, and the hustle and all that.
mhm.
And Ka reformed himself, but he doesn't force that on people. You know what I mean? He
Sure.
lives as an example. So, but they're still on the same street from the same neighborhood.
Mm. That's a, that's a great way to that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
So, and that's a weird. Trust me, that's a very strange base point to have this 1938 movie as the basis for this, but it's kind of perfect for those two. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, so that's the push and pull of it. But Ka was committed to the darkness in himself, to trying to purge it or address it, right? And near the end, you know, Thief Next to Jesus trying to purge the darkness around him, right? Uh, whereas Rock tends to stew in the negativity that is the repercussions of his environment.
Interesting.
This is full Dan Overthink. You're getting it all right now. This is great.
So purge the darkness. Uh, hmm. I okay. I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily say he was trying to purge it.
I
I
mean,
think yeah, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead.
I I think you figure out a way. I think maybe I'm wrong. I always interpreted it as he knew the darkness was inside of him. Like when you go through that environment, you don't you don't change back to how you don't regain you don't regain who you were before you went through the environment.
Right. And when you succeed how he succeeded,
Yeah,
you accept that you're not going to get some of the things, right? Like,
right. Your relationship with the darkness inside of you changes.
well, and the darkness around you, right? So,
Yes.
um, because I said a big weird overview thing. I want to ground it a little bit.
Okay.
The song Good For You off 656, right?
Hmm.
In my notes, I said, this song is a great study in the negative dimensions of his subject matter. He can't trust the women he deals with or the industry he exists within. We don't get much of a vision to anything positive.
Mm. No, yeah.
So, and it doesn't feel like complaining, but the assessment is, and I was almost thinking of it like evil, reasonable doubt Jay-Z.
Ooh. As in, he's not trying to moralize it. Is that the word? I'm trying. Like,
Right, right.
there's no, there's not trying to moralize it. It's somewhere in between moralizing and reporting.
It's the same like seeing all the angles type skills, right?
Yeah.
That Carlito's way feel,
Mm.
but it is meaner. It's meaner.
Sure. Yeah.
There's no Jay-Z would never say your garbage made Tracy Morgan vomit.
As mean spirited. It's much more. Yes.
And so it's absolutely mean spirited and like, you know, um and it but it feels like a mean spirit that's built out of the environment.
It's almost like the movie I think of is Lion King, Scar,
Yeah, yeah.
to kind of give a contrast. Like,
I had never seen The Lion King before.
you
I
never seen
saw
The Lion King?
I saw it a year or two ago.
Oh man,
And
wow,
the first thing I said,
wow.
I don't know whether it was like might have been 5, 7 minutes in the movie. I turned to my wife, I go, what the fuck? Does he still have Scar around? Scar is sitting there being like, I hate you. I hate you, bitch. And he's just like, shut up. And I'm like, why do you have this dude around you? You got to get this motherfucker out of here. You can't have somebody in your inner circle who's looking at you like lunch every day.
Mufasa and Scar. But I think isn't
That's
this
just crazy.
backstory? Weren't they like? Are they brothers or cousins or something?
I don't
Something
give
like
a
that.
fuck what.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
give a fuck who you are. I can't have nobody with that kind of shit, with that kind of intention. I got to get you out of there, dog. I'm not saying like he should have snuffed him, you know, set him up, give him an allowance, send him off somewhere. Get him the fuck out of there, dude.
But that's the. I mean, you can't because I think maybe Mufasa saw Scar. He maybe just saw him in a different way. Maybe he was like maybe he saw some of himself in Scar.
I'll, I love we're getting into the Lion King here, but I would my read on it, honestly,
Yeah.
having no previous Lion King
Okay.
knowledge, going in raw was Mufasa thought he could keep punking this dude because he was bigger, stronger, beloved. So whenever Scar would start talking that talk, he'd be like, "Man, shut the fuck up!" Like, and he would, set him back in his place. Like he was like, "That dude ain't
That's
shit," you know.
fascinating. Okay.
But it doesn't matter how up you are, right?
Mhm.
You just built an enemy inside your house that has full fucking knowledge of your shit, access to all your information, right? To your
Mm.
kid, to your family, telling you he hates you openly, telling you he wants your spot.
Oh my gosh, I need to see this. I saw it when I was a kid. I haven't seen it under the adult context. So
Dude,
maybe,
pay attention to the beginning, dog. So pay attention to it from a strategic
yeah,
what Mufasa did wrong type shit.
yeah,
It's an interesting listen. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of Scar in terms of the graveyard. Like Scar hated where he was from, and he looked down uh, in terms of he looked down in everything and everyone in the graveyard, but that was all he knew. That was his home. So that was where he felt most comfortable.
Right. And by the way, I watched the movie because there was a heated debate at my work about whether Scar was the bad guy.
I mean,
They were saying that since Mufasa had kind of caged him into that environment and punked him over and over again, that he was like, that was what was going to happen. And I'm like, that's all good and well, but you still don't try and kill somebody's kid. Like that's not cool.
without his nephew, I feel like Scar and Mufasa were brothers.
Yeah. I think so.
Mm,
He just was too far out of line to be the ruler. You know what I mean? Mufasa would have had to die, and Simba would have still been the ruler. Like,
right,
so he
right.
needed both of those dudes out to be king. So, um, yeah, but
That's a good.
he wasn't even hiding that shit. Like he was telling
His
it.
thing, right.
Yeah, so that's crazy. You can't have that shit around you. But um, that's Dan's lesson in paranoia for the day. Uh, but those lessons are in this album, 656.
Mhm,
656 is about seeing all the angles.
mhm.
And it's about who you can trust, who you can't trust, how you move through the environment.
And he's trying to move through the bite. He's not trying to escape it. And maybe that's the difference between like Kaz trying to get over that fence. To go back to your movie, uh, Rock is not. He's not trying to get over the fence.
Yeah, no, Rock is trying to stay in this life.
Yes.
And he's like, you know, with that audio clip at the end of is Rain Dance, where the guy's talking about um because it sounds like greed, you know, where he's like, I like nice garments, fine
Yes.
foods, but in reality, it's really about putting forethought into every aspect. Because what he's saying is right. Having good socks does change you, dog.
Ironing your underwear, which I may try that. That actually does sound luxurious.
If you went through any period where you didn't give a fuck about your clothes, you didn't give a fuck about your socks, and
Right.
then you really started to take stock, and you're like, I'm gonna reinvest in this shit. I'm gonna have good socks.
Hmm.
Fucking changes your day, bro. It really does. It really fucking
No,
does.
you're right. You're right.
And so there's a commitment to that of like, I'm going to invest in myself.
Mhm.
I'm going to invest in my life. And if I'm investing in better socks and it's helping me,
Mhm.
I'm eating better and it's helping me, then these people who are saying it doesn't matter can go fuck themselves. That's where he's at.
And so do you think he's talking? You feel like that's a metaphor for the craft?
So I feel like im- there's two guiding principles to the album.
Okay.
I think I wrote this in my notes for Childish Things, which I love.
Okay.
One is I am of the highest quality. Two, I have opted out of the rat race to compete for any sort of crown. I am the crown. There you go.
Mm. And you feel like that's the theme for those are the themes that are running throughout the album.
Yep, I think that's the basis of the whole thing.
Oh,
The distance between where you're at and where I'm at, you know?
and huh. Now, do you think? How do you? Okay, here's the question that unlocks it for me. How do you think he came to that conclusion? Those conclusions.
Um, yeah, I mean, listen on the Yves Saint Laurent,
Okay.
he says, I ain't regressed not even half a step. The way Rock is looking at it is that's fine. You have millions of listeners. I have less. But I am, I'm the best jewelry store in the state, right? Like, I'm the best jewelry store in the country. My shit is not fake, you know?
Mm. So
Like,
it's not enlightenment where he's let go of like wanting that. He's reached that conclusion because almost out of spite for the environment.
think about what he says over and over again. If you listen to it, you'll hear
Okay.
it's just quiet luxury.
Mm.
And that is some metal clergy shit right there.
Quiet luxury.
Quiet luxury. So my product is the best product. It is better than anyone's product right now. And I'm not going to yell at you about it. I'm not here shouting at everybody about how great my product is.
I mean, because that's what the Griselda. I mean, they're known as being well, they try to brand it as luxury rap in a way, luxury street rap.
Right. So he's like, this is, yeah, this is quiet luxury. This is, and there's a very like, if you know aspect to it.
Yes, yes. Hmm.
So that is
Uh,
the basis of it. Yeah. Yeah. And uh
fast.
I mean the song that I thought typifies what I'm talking about with these themes, maybe it was the one that had me thinking about it,
Okay.
was Vanity.
Hmm.
How great is it to have a song called Prince and Apollonia and then follow it with a song called Vanity? That's fucking brilliant. Anyway, um he's so good with the double meanings, you know?
Hmm.
Because the song is about his vanity. But he also puts it after Prince and Apollonia. You get the vanity reference. It's awesome. Awesome. But he says, and I said, my notes say this song feels like the heart of the album. Ain't no Tracy Ellis Ross up in Ross. It reinforces the theme. I am a rare breed in every aspect to include taste, natural ability, one of one music. I look better than bitches. Beauty isn't gender specific.
Yeah.
So that like I think that's huge, right? He's saying and he's taking stock of all those years, the 15 years he's put into making himself this good.
Technically, right. Hmm. I did like that Tracy Ross line.
Tracy Ellis Ross, yeah.
It feels Ross and Ross, which is like a. I feel like Ross is like a discount store where they get the brands. You can get like the last season brands for discounted prices.
Yep. 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 That's true. And the theme, man. I this last song is fucking incredible. Mellow.
Hmm.
So interestingly enough, throughout the album, one of the things that I really noticed was he kept attacking the beats.
Hmm.
The beat would start and he would start rapping immediately.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like this is for someone as low key and chill and who likes
Yeah.
to mess with space. There was a real um I don't know. How do you what do you vengeful energy to this thing.
Tenacity. I mean, there was a
Yeah.
tenacity to it. You're right, because
Immediately.
there
Yeah.
would be some songs where like the song would change immediately. Usually there's like kind of like a gap or something where they kind of let reset a little bit, but the song would change immediately. He's waiting a second, 2 seconds, and then going right back in.
Bang. And Mellow is the one where he actually lets it ride a little bit. And he has it and it fades out. You know,
Mhm.
I said uh this album doesn't stop. It fades away like smoke in the sky. So this is how you close out the album. The theme,
Bro.
the concept of him as Mellow is spot on, as Mellow was always cool and calculated, but didn't play around with his respect. Mello rejected the rat race aspect of being a top player and focused on his own goals, ending up wildly successful as an Olympian. In this way, Rock adjusted the market rather than bending to it. This beat takes the soulful vibe all the way home. My notes on Mello.
Well, I interpret it as mellow is, there's a disconnect between the how regular fans talk about mellow and how players talk about mellow. Because there have been multiple times where players have been like, they've asked players who was the toughest person to guard, and they said Melo, hands down. I think even Kobe said that one time. Like Melo was just physical, in a way, physical and skilled in a way that was just made him almost impossible to stop, but really fun.
So, and this is where we get the fun part. I hated Mello when he was playing. I
As a
was
fan, yes,
I was totally one of those people being like, he doesn't play defense,
right.
all that. I started enjoying Mello later when I was loving all the people who had modeled their game after Mello.
Mm, mm.
I'd be like, "Oh, I
Technically,
love this
right.
guy." And they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, he's very Carmelo," and I'm like, "Oh, really?" Like,
Yeah,
and I went back to Mello and was like, "Oh, damn!" Like, there was a lot more to this than I thought. Right.
yeah,
Uh, so your point is absolutely salient, right? Basketball people knew Mello was the shit.
yeah. The other players that he played with, not necessarily the commentators, but commentators knew, but the players that he was
Right.
out on the court with and he played against knew how good this guy was and
But you
why he
could
was.
always get on first take and yell that he didn't have a championship mentality
Yes,
and all that, right? If you wanted to, because that would
yes,
sell to people that didn't know the game on that level.
yes, and didn't understand the game on a technical offensive level in terms of footwork, positioning. Like Carmelo was an offensive technician.
And that is, and so yes, so like that the Carmelo comparison to me is really interesting because it kind of acknowledges the monthly listener difference we talked about and is like I'm not going to try and win that game. I'm going to win my game.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it's interesting. Like when you're discussing your thoughts about the album, the 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 point I like the thought that kept coming into my mind was who is he trying to convince? Is Rock trying to convince himself, or is he trying to convince the audience that?
Great point.
Uh, and I really think that he's talking. This is almost like an affirmational album, like he's talking to himself in a way. Like, look, like
Right.
like I'm not popular in the sense I'm not like as widely known because that's not what my style is for, and
Yeah, I
I've got
think
to
you would say
accept
that
that.
it has to be him, right? Because why would Rock ever try and convince you?
Mm.
Rock doesn't care about you. You think Rock is going to be brokenhearted about your opinion? In his mind, I'm driving this. This is mine. I built this house, right? I put all the fucking fixtures in. This is my fucking house. So I'm giving you the state of the union of this house.
Fascinating.
But this isn't a fucking conversation. Take
You
notes.
know, I think you get. It's interesting that you mentioned that because I think what it is it's a disdain for. He's talking to himself, but it's also a disdain for the environment because
Sure.
like of music wise that you're in because you shouldn't have to convince people of what luxury really is. They should you should be able to see it, and you should be able to identify luxury and high quality easily.
Right.
And so I can see getting frustrated when you worked so hard to build this thing, and people don't even have the capacity to appreciate and understand it.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, that's a yeah. Yeah. The you're he is definitely while he doesn't care what you think, he's pissed that he's not regarded
Yes.
enough. Now, and that is a difference, I think, between Ka and Rock. I think Ka had fully let that go.
Yeah.
I think Ka was fully within himself, like, I'm betting these dudes, I'm happy with who I am.
Yes.
Right. Um, and in Ka's mind, it was like the equation has to balance, right? And if I tell everybody I don't care and I'm doing this for my soul, then that's what it has to be on the other side of the equation. You
Hmm.
can't then get mad when somebody who's not as good as me gets more popular, you
Right.
know?
Right.
But Rock isn't there and it hasn't, and he's lived a different life, right? His style is more, it pops more than Kaz does.
His style, his style pops more than Cut. I think his how does his style has more personality than Cos did.
Well, like,
Whether that's real or not,
yeah.
yes.
Let me give you an example, right? When
Okay.
I'm talking about it pops, it grabs your attention. My favorite beat on this album is Prince and Apollonia.
Okay.
Okay. The string section's crazy, deadly. He says, if you dare to have sex with the half man, half electric chair. Rock activates sex raps in an interesting way. They shock you, but they don't feel over the line. The vocabulary and structure is so good that when he deftly oversteps into something crazy, I just shake my head.
Yeah. Okay. So you met some of the things you said are crazy. Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
those crazy things are fun. And the ride of what is he going to say next, right, is more alluring than Kama's dark confessional stuff, right? So it's just the difference between like the textures, right? And uh, so Ka was moved kind of into those spaces, but he was still much more Ka than he was these other dudes. He's much more Ka than he is Conway the Machine.
Yes. Yes.
So like he's standing there with Conway the Machine, and that's cool, and like they're gonna be on the same playlist together, but like I'm still me.
Right.
I'm not these dudes. And so nothing against them. It's not happening, you know?
Right.
So quiet luxury, you know? Um, yeah, it's it's wild. But the negativity of the environment is something I was thinking about too, man. So the world is based on kind of immediacy, right? Where every technology that runs out has the aim of making it quicker for you to get things, right?
Mhm.
Quicker for you to get food, quicker for you to get your delivery, quicker for you to get everything, right?
Yes.
That that distance is the profit. You know, it's like I'm selling you immediacy that other people can't give you, right? When you play the immediacy game, you get you get trapped in it.
From
So
whose perspective? The audience, like the person ordering or the person
the person
delivering?
profiting off it gets trapped in it.
Delivering. Okay.
So
Yes.
like um people OnlyFans creators and streamers are doing the same grind, dude.
I thought you were gonna go with like Uber Eats or something.
No,
Okay.
OnlyFans people and
Okay.
like those gaming streamers,
Yeah.
they're all in the same grind, bro. They've got
Yeah.
subscribers. They got to
Yes.
go live for 5 hours and shit, right?
Yep. Yep.
The fans are cursing them and cursing out, any woman that they're seen with, right? Like, and they've got to take that shit because like they need more and more clicks and more and
They
more.
need engagement.
Yeah.
Engagement is their that's their currency.
Now, I was once in sales
Okay. All right.
when I was a young man, right? Fresh out of the army, I was started working in sales,
Hmm.
and it didn't take long for me to get really good at it.
Hmm.
At one point, they had the sheet, and I was like top 8 in the building. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, and people would go up to me and be like, "Oh my God, your bonus is gonna be crazy," and I'd be like, "It's trash money."
What is trash money? This is interesting.
Dude, I was like in my 20s when I called my bonuses trash money.
Is that money you spend on trash or like money that
No,
does no
the
significance
the
to you?
mentality, like I said, everything gets a nickname in my head. Trash money means it's not sustainable. There's no
Oh,
sustainability. In order for me to make 300% of the sales plan and get this crazy bonus, a bunch of variables have to fall into place,
right,
right?
right.
Like it's not just I'm great on the phones, it's the product's right for me to sell. It's, the people are there at the right time for my
Mhm.
shift, right? Like everything has to fall into place just right for me to hit that bonus at that high level. And when I do, I have to accept I'm probably not going to see any bonus like this for a fucking year. Like,
Right,
it's back to 128% of plan next month, you know?
right.
So to me, it was always trash money because you couldn't count on it.
Mhm. Okay,
If I can't count on it, it's trash money.
right. Okay. I like that.
So this is all to say, uh, the driving success factors of those people are trash money. The engagement is trash money because you can't count on
Yeah, I mean, there's a temporariness to it, as it you know that it's trash money, but the messed up thing is you don't know how long it's going to be trash money for. With you, like when you were in sales, at least you know, okay, this month is trash money. But if your livelihood is based on trash money, that's going to change your whole mentality because you don't know the trash. It could end next month. It could end in 2 months. It could end in 3 months. But it's going to end. I just don't
it.
know
Right,
when.
right. You can't build anything like that,
Right. Yes.
right?
Right.
So, um, that was the whole point, right? And that's why when that job ended, I moved out of sales forever. Um, so
Mm.
yeah, trash money. And like I became aware of this, like I would be looking at people's OnlyFans and I'd be like, damn, like she's taking sexy pictures in the grocery store. Like, she has to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like for the engagement, to keep the feed up
Okay.
to not lose subscribers, she's got to make picking up fruit
Okay.
sexy.
So
You
you're
know?
thinking about OnlyFans theoretically? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
like, damn, like she can't just go to the grocery store, you know?
Right.
She's
Right.
got to make that
Everything.
shit crazy.
Your life becomes content because
Right.
not only do you need to deliver content, but you've got to, if your life is content, you're going to have to figure out ways to create content.
Right. She's got to bat her eyes and
Yeah.
post that shit and be like, if you were looking for peaches next to me, what would you say? Or, what would you do? She's got to make that shit work. And that's fucking nuts.
It's exhausting. Yeah.
That's
It's not
fucking.
sustainable. You're right.
There's one porn star, I will not put her name out there because her life, but her OnlyFans bio said, I currently have cancer right now. Your dick couldn't be further from my mind.
Yeah. I mean, that's heavy.
It's heavy. That's heavy, bro.
hmm.
And I'm not saying this is not the goon hour, right? We're not doing that. But I'm just talking about the pressures to keep up in the race of immediacy, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And 656 is Rock saying the game's not going to speed me up. Period. Point blank. Not going to happen.
Mhm.
Game's not going to speed me up. I'm that dude. I'm going to go at my pace. And if it means I'm Carmelo instead of LeBron, fine.
Right.
That's fine.
Hmm. I mean, and that approach is more sustainable because if you look at it like with luxury, like quiet luxury, like I really think of like watches. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like I think of, there's some watches, obviously they're Rolexes, which are very flashy. Yeah. Yes. And but there are also some watches that are like, like a Philip DeFleur watch, where it's like handcrafted, and if you were wearing it, it wouldn't stand out. But to the people who really know watches, that's going to be a watch that in 100 years could probably double in value
Right, right.
in a way because those watches take years to make, and the really great watchmakers or horologists maybe only make like 10, 15, 20 watches a year.
Right.
And the demand for those watches is backed up in decades. Like,
And there's an understood like level of craft escalation, right? Like
yeah.
you can't afford a Rolex, that's fine. You can save up for a Movado.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's a really good watch.
Yes.
Um, and then you see where you go and you can build your cards up. You know what I mean? Like, um, and
I mean, yeah, I mean, I would argue quiet luxury. It's just when you, because that's kind of what quiet luxury it means to me.
mm,
Like the most expensive watches in the world to the casual fan will look like just regular watches.
right, right, right,
But a Rolex, you see like a Rolex or like a shiny watch, and people are, oh shit, like that's expensive. But like the top tier crafted watches, most expensive watches, don't look expensive.
right.
Um, and that's quiet luxury to me.
Yeah, man. You're right. It's you know, the focus is on the product being
Yeah.
untouchable, and it's
Yes.
not on like the barking, right?
But
So that's really important.
the
And
marketing. Yes.
656 has that soul in it, right? But the cool part is you got to kind of dig to get there, you
Yeah.
know?
And
Yeah,
and that's the beautiful thing. Like when you're making, like when you're making product like that, you're always going to have an audience.
right.
Now it may not be you may not have the sales of like a Rolex or whatnot. You may not have those big years, but you will considerably consistently for the rest of your career or brand life be able to sell to those people who know your quality.
Mhm.
So he's got 400. I'm thinking of Rock. Like he's got 400,000 listeners now. More than likely, those 400,000 listeners will be with him for the rest of his career, music
Right,
career.
right, right. And 656 going back to the essence, right? The floppy disk,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, Going back to the original hunger that you had. And so when Rock became this important legendary person, and he's done albums with Alchemist, he's done albums with DJ Muggs, he's done albums with DJ Premier, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had access to all these resources he hadn't had before, and he wanted to take advantage of those. But he's better by himself. Metal clergy shit. He's better by himself. So this album was a breath of fresh air for a lot of us because it was like, oh, this is that real shit that he does. Like he's building a house again, you know? Um, and that's beautiful, you know. So play a game here. Quick
Okay.
hits. I'm gonna ask you a question about 656. You ask me a question about 656. We'll go back and forth.
Okay. Okay.
All right. All right. I'll go first
All
since I
right.
focus on you. Okay. How do you feel about Errol Holden?
Okay. The song.
No, Errol Holden is the only feature on this album. MC
Oh, the rap. Okay, the rap. Twice.
Rain Dance and Trapeze. He's on. Yeah.
I liked it. I thought that they had a chemistry. I like because he seems like I don't know. I didn't Google him, so I don't know too much about him. But I liked his energy. He had a youthful energy.
It almost felt like AZ and Nas a little bit.
Hmm.
I had in my notes that like the thing about AZ was he's so good that he pushed Nas to be better.
Yeah.
And that's how it feels with Errol Holden and Rock to me.
Yeah. I think it almost seemed like a mentor mentee relationship
Hmm.
in a way. that was really kind of not humanized Rock, but like made me view him in another at another angle, you know?
Yeah, Errol Holden raps like he has no second to waste.
Yeah,
I have to get everything out in this. He
yeah, but
raps like they're picking him up to go to prison in an hour or two. Like he's got to get this shit off his chest. Like it's crazy.
there's a youthful energy to me, like in terms of like his voice is a little bit higher, lighter than Rock's. So there was like that youthful energy, but they're in the same vein. It almost like I pictured it like Rock Rock was showing him the ropes.
I like that.
And then that I mean the second song, so they did he had two features,
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
trapeze and rain dance. Yeah,
Yeah, that Rain Dance, that second feature, Rock completely stepped out of the way for a good amount of time and just let him
let him
go.
rock, let him knock it out. Yeah,
Yeah. And
um,
I thought that that was a really great moment.
really dope.
Uh
I love
yeah.
rain dance. Get what is your question? Hit me.
What were some of your favorite lines?
Favorite
Yeah,
lines?
what were the most memorable lines
Man,
off of it?
I had some of them here. The there's a part like there's a part in the beginning of Easy Bake Oven where he says like I've been having hoes since I was 12 or some shit. Like and then he says and then it just starts rolling into this kind of thought process of how young he was when he was like this. And it feels like I I like it because it feels like he's thinking about it as he's writing it, you know? And like cooking up in the easy bake oven and shit. Like he's like, it's a theme that he just develops from bar to bar. And that's like the essence of rock that's so fun is like that the songs feel like they're moving and breathing and they can go anywhere they want.
Yeah, it's almost like a stream of it's a stream of conscience, but it's so refined. That I mean that's kind of the appeal. Like it's a stream of conscience,
Hmm.
but all the words are so refined. So you know that he polished up his stream of conscience at the same time.
Absolutely. I'll give you one more.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Favorite and least favorite song.
Okay, let me pull up the okay, so the track listing.
Yep.
Uh, okay. Okay, so favorite and least favorite. Um, I mean, I really I thought Mellow was good. I really like Trapeze and Mellow.
Okay.
I thought the last half of the album was really great. Um, gosh, there wasn't really anything that I didn't like. I mean, for me, I mean the sex bars there were some sex bars that did take me back aback.
Sure.
Uh, because it wasn't necessary. Like some sex bars are just gross. They weren't gross. It was just like so
It was jarring.
yes, visually graphic that was like the image that he created was so jarring that it took me aback.
Do you remember what he said? Like, put it in your shorty's thorax or something? And I was like, holy shit, he said
Right.
thorax, bro. That's so fucking cool. Like he's such a fucking master of language. But I know, I think the line, single line would probably be the whole I'm prettier than bitches, beauty is you know, not gender specific. I was like, "Oh shit, look at the rock." That was great.
It's very yeah, it's a progressive.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's what see he can because it's like progressive, but it's also regressive at the same time. It's
right.
like that mix of the two.
It's still mean, but it's enlightened and mean, you know. Yeah, that was great. Um I was so and there's so many good for me, for my the beginning of this album is fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think if I had to pick a three-song run,
Okay.
probably Childish Things, Hate Is Love, and Yves Saint Laurent.
Yeah.
I
Two, three,
just
and four.
yeah, it's such a good establishing run where you're just like, damn, you know. By the
Yeah.
time I think you hit Hate Is Love, you're like, oh shit, all the shit on here is gonna be crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's Childish Things, Hate Is Love, Yves Saint Laurent. Then that goes to the Prince and Apollonia.
Yeah,
He
Vanity.
ranked
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
I love Tracy Morgan Vomit too. I thought that's one of the more creative titles.
That's a crazy one, man. That's a
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. I'm very happy to have this. Like, I'm not one of these people who's like gonna spend all night reevaluating his discography and finding where he puts it in. I'm making good art is so hard to fucking do.
Mhm.
Like J. Cole has talked about the fall off like it is Crime and Punishment, and Fantano just gave it a pity seven. Like, you know, it's so mid. You know, you can work so hard and get to mid, and it's a pain in the ass. I am so happy that the guy who blew my mind in 2011 blew my mind in 2026.
Mm.
Roc Marciano is one of the best rappers that ever lived.
Mm.
Ever lived.
He's a technician. I mean,
How
and
many of the top rappers that that are going to be in the argument of best rappers of all time had 15 great years? Not all of them.
uh,
Not all of them. It's a long time, dude. You know?
yeah, I mean, he is. I mean, I guess it all depends on how you define rapper. Uh, like when you say he's the greatest rapper, what does that mean to
I'm
you?
not saying he's the greatest rapper.
Oh, I'm sorry,
No,
one of the greatest
one
rappers.
of the greatest
What
rappers
does that
whoever.
mean to you? Like, what do you? Okay, this is the way. All right, I'll phrase it like this: what do you value in a rapper?
Yeah, 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 yeah. According to my criterias, right? So,
Yes.
and I like to take influence out of it in that sense. So, like, even
Mhm.
if you leave influence in it, he has it. It's just different, right?
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
different kind of influence, right? Um, but he still has a great deal of influence. But it's not really based on that. It's you know, it's the level of skill and accomplishment of you know, yeah, and body of work counts, right? Like,
Mhm.
um, so, dude, 15 years independent, still cranking out bulletproof albums while being a minimalist. It's
Yeah,
nuts. And while producing it all yourself, like you, you know,
you're right. To some people, I think rock. Like I think of when I won't get into basketball, but you're right. I think it's important, like evaluating criteria. And you're right. I think body of work or resume is definitely one aspect, but also the technical ability in terms of like the straight technique of rapping. Like, does this person understand how to rap syllable? Does he understand
right.
spacing? But then there's also a mix of, does this person have like natural talent?
Well, and to add something, right?
Yeah,
Quality control.
yes. In terms of the resume, yeah.
Do they have quality control? Do they give you everything they do, or do they give you the best of what they can do?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who are going to be on people's best rappers list who live off kind of freestyly stuff, haphazard stuff, right? Their skills crazy, but their albums don't sound
Yeah,
anywhere near how good Rocks does.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Excellent.
Right. You're right.
Metal clergy shit, bro.
Right. And I can tell you can tell you can tell a lot about a person by the criteria that they use to evaluate. Like if you have and to go to the NBA, I'll touch on it. Like if you ask a person who their best player of all time is, and then ask them why, that why is more important than the
Yep.
who.
Yep. No, that's for real. It's what do you value?
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
value?
The
Right?
value. Yeah.
So, in terms of, you know, excellence, quality control,
Hmm.
um, body of work, he's crazy with it.
Right.
But yeah, he's got to be considered in the all-time conversation. Some people will be like, Royce the 5'9" is one of the best rappers ever. I've heard Rock dominate him on a song, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
not Royce is still on my list, but that has to mean something, right? Like this is somebody who always showed up and always showed out. So that's what I'm gonna say there.
Right. Well, yeah, that's where to put it.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna recommendation quarter, buddy.
All right.
The best R&B album of 2026.
Okay.
And I gotta give love to Tatiana Yan Sneed. She put out a list of R&B albums you need to check that came out in 2026 on Twitter. And I was
Oh,
just
last month.
yeah,
Oh,
this month, yeah.
okay. This one. Okay.
She put it out this month, a week ago, or maybe a few days ago.
Okay.
And I was just grabbing stuff and running it.
Okay.
And on this list was an album called Typhoon by Luke Chiang, Chiang.
Lucian Typhoon. Okay.
Crazy, crazy. Um, that album blew me away. Um, I love that. I love that shit. Um, man, the other one, there's been a lot of good shit that's come out, okay?
Okay.
Black Magic by Casual. Casual's in the same hieroglyphics crew um as Pep Love, who we interviewed.
Okay.
Um, and he's a monster, dog. A monster. And this album is nuts. Um, Dell is on it. He raps his ass off. There's a song called
Let's sit down.
100 Men versus a Gorilla.
Okay.
It's fantastic. It's all really, it's just, he's a master. He's one of those guys where, like, there's no bad albums because hearing him rhyme is always great. You know, it's similar. And if you talked about the Avatar, you remember the Avatars,
Yes.
and we said air was flow.
Hmm.
right? Um, some people's flow is so fucking good that they can fill in the rest later, you know? Um, you'll just go and show up based on flow alone.
Mhm.
He's in that class, and the beats are great here, and it's really dope. It's just a really great album. Um, the other, I'll go third. Some fun shit. Lightly salted on Bandcamp. It's Milk and Slick Devious. It's quick and easy, 8 songs. Fun as shit. Just two wacky dudes from the Northwest killing it, you know? Love it.
So,
That's fun stuff. Oh, we're so to move to the movies. Actually, you go with music. Do you have any music recommendations?
uh, no, I'm still. I mean, the only thing I listened, obviously, I listened to the Fall Off. I'm still processing that, but no, I didn't know new music this week.
We're still doing our 2025 catch up
Hmm.
for movies,
Okay.
and we did Jay Kelly.
What did you think about that?
I thought it was really interesting. So I knew more about it than she did because I had watched a Noah Baumbach movie before,
Mhm.
and I knew he's very wordy and very kind of thoughtful and introspective and Jewish, very Jewish. And so Sandler is really good in all these roles, you know. He knows how to use Sandler better than anybody. Uh, but I knew because of what it is and because of who Clooney is, it was going to be a little, uh, you know, nostalgic and, cheesy a little bit.
Okay.
I was like, that'll kind of water down some of that intense intellectualism that he brings to it sometimes. And I was right, and it was good. It was a little too long, but I enjoyed it, man. I thought it was fun.
Jay Kelly. All right. You're the second person who's mentioned that.
It
Where do you?
wasn't the best movie ever or anything,
Okay.
but it was one of those movies w- so well written, with a great cast, superb cast, where you're just going to get great performances left, right, and center.
Okay. Where do you watch it?
Netflix,
Netflix. Okay.
I believe it was Netflix.
All right.
Um, so yeah, the next one hopefully will be, or maybe it was HBO. Or was it one of the two? Um, the next one I'm hoping would be Frankenstein, the Frankenstein movie.
Okay. I have to check that one out. I missed it, the Frankenstein, when it was in theaters.
Yep, it's on Netflix. Yeah, now so
Okay.
yep, I'm gonna try and catch it before it goes. Everything's
Okay.
always going immediacy, processing out, bro.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Shout out to everybody, man. Um, yeah. YouTube Shorts. Well, so subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm getting YouTube Shorts professionally done.
Hmm.
Uh, and they're coming out really well.
Yeah.
The first one uh, we put up was Brother Ali and that one's doing crazy numbers. Second one I just put up was with a question that I asked Illogic that was fantastic.
Hmm.
And he gave an incredible answer about Blueprint and everything. And we got more coming. So
Beautiful.
yeah, we're gonna really try and spruce up the YouTube channel. I went through a dark era where I was like, "Fuck the YouTube, I don't care. I can't do everything," you know. Um, but I'm out of that phase now and
All right.
investing in infrastructure. So follow the YouTube. More cool shit to come, man.
Good.
Yeah, man. Uh, yeah. Don't follow gaming streamers.
What will tomorrow bring?